Yo YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy SalvationsElite. We're back with the video, guys. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. I know I am. I'm still getting over like the time difference that I was in California to now back to the East Coast. The 3 hours is actually kind of killer. I didn't think it was going to be so bad, but you know, that's obviously pointless. What we're talking about today is learn from the pros on HARDPOINT Gibraltar. It's been one of the more controversial maps lately, actually, because a lot of pros don't like Gibraltar because of how the hardpoints work and the rotations work, and that you can get a lot of big time points on certain hills. This is Optic versus Rise in the 2K, and I'm already gonna say sorry for how it looks because this is my boy Scumpy's video and he has all of his streaming overlays on it, so I decided just to black him out because I don't want to steal his branding or anything. But nonetheless, guys, before we get into it, I have a few things that I want you guys to pay attention to while we're watching this. So obviously the first thing is pay close attention to Optic's communication and how precise and controlled the communication really is, and how good they are at reacting to each other's communications and callouts and getting in position to make that happen. So it's really great how they trade kills and use the communication and callouts. I love that. The next thing is, since we're watching Scump's POV, watch how aware Scump is and how well he reacts to the callouts and sets himself into position to have the best advantage in each gunfight, and he's so good at it. And one thing I will say though is that, like, when it comes to playing against professional players, you know, Scump is so used to playing against professional players that he basically always knows where pro players will be. Pro players and pro teams are so good at splitting up the lanes and running to the best spots that give them the best advantage that, you know, pro players figure out the ways to destroy those spots that have the best advantages, and that's what Scump's so good at methodically doing and keeping track of it in his mind of where players are and things like that. So keep an eye out for that. And like I mentioned earlier, that Gibraltar opens up huge opportunities for money hills. So in the Optic versus Eunited match on Sunday in the 2K, Optic and Eunited both had 2 shutout hills each. So there were literally 4 hills that were complete shutouts to the other team. And that's just ridiculous. And that's how important controlling the spawns and maintaining your positions are on Gibraltar, and that's what we need to watch for in this match. So on this first spawn, Optic has the broken spawn, which is this one that they're at right now. And what's so crucial about this is what you have to get in a position and get in the hill to then control the opposing team's bricks. So if you're spawning on the opposite side bricks, then the reverse is true, where you need to then control the broken wall here, and that's what you're gonna see Optic try to do.
Pretty close.
Broken steps.
Nice, good job.
I
I don't see him.
Nice, good job.
I needed bricks and anything.
Right, guys.
First stairs and left side of brick.
So one thing that you'll end up noticing near the end of this hill is how much better spawning on this broken side that Optic has is than spawning on the opposite side, because the next hill, Courtyard, is actually right here with them, and so obviously it gives you a big advantage going into the next hill.
One was in turret. One was in turret.
Yo, broken stairs.
I'm
It's Sealy.
There's 2 on me.
I'm going right, Matt.
Yeah, there's 2 men. We have time here. Where'd you guys spawn? Okay, go.
I'm broken stairs.
We are going right.
Why did you check that?
So then right here you can actually see that Scump says wait it out, when should I spawn, and he's actually waiting to make sure that they control the spawns before he respawns. It's just a great play for him, just to be able to communicate with his teammates and figure out when is the right time to spawn, because if he spawns early and spawns out, it completely messes everything up.
I'm looking your right.
I'm waiting to spawn. Let me know when to spawn.
Perfect.
Spawn.
1 second.
Alright, I spawn here.
What we see on the Courtyard hill is just really the fight for the spawns, where right now Rise is just trying to flood that right turret side and win those spawns over, and eventually they get the trades and the kills they need to actually win those spawns.
I'm gonna die in hill. We're still spawning here. Nice.
Ladder. Gotta get this time.
One's back left.
Back.
Ladder, one shot.
Damn it, man. That's sucks. I didn't
They all
know.
spawn left.
So then Optic, once they lose this spawn here, decides, screw that, we're not even going to try to push it anymore. Let's just set up to have a really, really nice hold on this next hill. And this is how these insane shutouts happen, is that teams literally just give up on a hill. It's like, well, what's the point of running it all the way across the map to then just get killed again? Let's just wait it out, try to play for a streak or 2, and make something happen. So you can see how this is so important when you decide to give up a hill like this. When they gave it up with over 30 seconds left, this is when you have to take advantage and really set up for the next hill. And you can see now how Scump just controls this mid-turret building, and does a great job of setting himself up in the angles to get the kills where he thinks the guys are coming from next. And he uses the callouts to his advantage, and you can see that right here.
Top middle. Mid-bridge, kill me. There's 2 turret. One's low, one's low, circle.
Pick up mid. I have a molly out.
I have mid right now.
Low, close, low, Dan. He's going in closet.
Top. Nice one. I have bricks.
Green.
I'm on your cubby.
I'm getting shot from top mid. I need a green. Green one shot. Green absolute. Green dead. One was top mid, guys. Mid dead.
Bridge, Tyler's on bridge.
Got him. I got 3.
Nice.
I'll watch your top mid.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Playing turret window.
He's top.
Stay down. We going closet sets?
Yeah, he's gonna kill me. He got me. I was out of bullets. He's pushing out on the hill.
Top.
Rotate, guys. Rotate.
Yeah, we're fine.
This guy might
He's on this side.
He's on the head. Yeah.
So you can see that they have actually a little bit of a late rotation over here to the turret hill. And they do a great job of using these baits and switches and just trading these kills to do a great job of getting into this hill and really locking it down. And they just absolutely dominate most of this hill because of how well they control mid. Basically, Karma and Formal just lock down mid, and whenever they have some sort of trouble, they call it out and they rotate to really maintain that area and really just dominate the hill because of it.
Yo, he's barrels already.
There's 3.
I mollied it. I mollied barrels. One's burning.
Yeah, they're all weak.
One's burning. Super hard barrels. Burning again. Barrels.
I'm nading in front of you, Seth.
Bro, they're so weak at barrels right now.
I nade in front of you. One's green right now. Green dead. Let's go to hill. Go to hill, Seth. You're right.
You're right side.
And now this is a scenario where Rise should have probably done something different. They should have busted out some smoke classes or something, tried to smoke the hill or something like that, because they're just getting slaughtered for like 50 straight seconds.
Top spiral.
Where you at right now?
Spiral. One top spiral. Top broken. Broken in turret.
Help you,
Nice.
turret.
Almost turret.
Help you,
Make sure you guys
turret.
hold left.
Circle.
Turret.
Circle
Nice.
dead as well.
Nice.
Yo, let me get time and I'll
Probably
be close to
top
streaks. No.
Low
left. Yeah.
You can see how Scump leaves the hill a little bit early and then goes full beast mode and just starts tearing up Rise.
I didn't see anything turret.
I'll pick it up.
I got one.
Two left.
I got two.
Nice.
TJ was low left.
I can't see Teej. I don't know where you went. Oh, he's bottom.
Could be turret. Let's guys. Let me get this time. I got full streaks. One's right stairs.
We need
Yo,
it.
listen, I'm back
Go left of them.
I mollied it. I mollied
I
stairs. One's burning. Nice.
I got your whole
Broken stairs, I think.
They're above me.
I'm looking at that.
I'm looking in
Two on
turret.
Here, man.
In turret.
Yeah,
Right
spiral
side.
steps.
Dead.
Big win, baby.
We're good,
Yo,
we're good. I'm
listen, I
pushing through
spawned
this
cave
guy.
right now.
Behind me. Top bricks.
Yeah.
You guys
Stand down.
heard?
They should spawn very
Bricks pushing you, Damon. Dead.
One more.
I'm pushing through this, Damon.
Yeah, go Steph. Go.
I spawned kind of close.
I got one turret. One more new.
So you can see how Scump pushes out perfectly, just absolutely perfectly, to win this next hill. He goes and pushes out towards Courtyard, gets the kills that he needs to, and wins the spawns for Optic. And then he locks down this right side of the map and just is slaying it.
To your left.
Yeah, he's low, Damon.
I got you, Steph.
One
One went low right.
I got him. One more. Yeah, good shit, guys.
We're missing one more.
Just stay
Right?
back. Stay back.
I pushed off. I pushed
Stand
off top stairs.
Someone get to tower.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta look
yeah,
left.
yeah.
I got one low right. Two more top bridge. Two top bridge.
I got him always looking at turret.
Yeah, I'm looking left.
I got
Turret.
eliminated.
They're gonna be on me right. Watch
Watch out.
I'm gonna help Seth.
Can I help you?
One's out rock.
Nice, good job.
Buy another turret. Turret weak.
I
DJ,
need
one's
it
going
over
left.
you, I need it over you.
Oh, I died. One's gonna go right.
I got one turret.
Ladder low left.
Let's get ladder.
Yeah, he's probably ladder.
Good time.
Ladder right now, fella.
Damon, you can push
Yeah,
it.
he
Oh,
got
he
me.
got random.
So you see how Optic was just so good at playing patiently, playing their corners, respawning and getting back into position to hold the spawns, and really do a great job of knowing where they're coming from and setting up accordingly. And their communication was so good on that hill, and they basically locked down the whole amount of time because of that. But the issue is, once again, is that rotation from Courtyard to Com Truck is just so difficult. And even when Scump has streaks, you'll see how tough it is for them to break this hill.
No. Push up a little.
I got naded.
Everyone trying to stay alive right now. I'm nading.
God
Nading
spot,
top
God
right.
spot. One shot, God spot. He ran away.
One shot hill. I'm streaking.
Go ahead. I'm just free playing.
We're gonna run in closet.
Yep, they are.
One shot in now.
In turret.
Alright, one hill. In closet and one shot and two turret. Closet was one shot. I hit him.
One shot.
And once again, this is just a situation where, just like Rise was in before at Turret Hill, this is a situation where Optic should have brought out some sort of smokes or something a little bit differently to try to break this hill, where I think a lot of pro teams are a little bit hesitant to bring out smokes because they want to keep using their grenades. But if you just have two guys just pull out smokes for 1 or 2 lives, just toss them up by the hill, and it cuts out that line of sight at bridge to give you a chance. But, you know, they didn't here, but I definitely highly recommend it to switch it up.
I'm gonna need help, guys.
I'm coming to help you.
Yeah, I'm just watching one of you.
One shot at old Yuli. Absolute old Yuli.
Top.
I
So
spawned
Optic has a really good rotation to this next turret hill. They do a great job of rotating through mid to the stairs, understanding that Rise will be coming through the caves, and they really use their mollies in a great way to hold off those choke points and get in position to trade kills and then take the hill. And once again, like I emphasized, and the first time they were at this turret hill, is how important controlling mid is when it comes to this hill, because you have that position on the upper stairs, which is so dominant, and it really gives you an absolute advantage when trying to control this turret hill.
What side? I'm nading in front of you.
I have your left, Ian. Left one shot, Ian. Absolute. There's two of them. They're both absolute nil, guys. There's two absolute nil.
mollied it.
Okay.
Peeked me. Didn't burn them. They're not burning.
They were
Good
both.
job,
Low
good
left,
job.
low left.
I naded low. He's on the heady. On the heady low left.
Yo, hold
I got
on.
him.
Yeah, I'm holding middle.
Center
I'm
Coming right,
clear.
Matt. I'm coming
Yeah,
I'm
right.
on your right
wait,
side.
I have the mid trade.
Right.
Middle.
I got him at
Yeah,
old.
look at top right.
Test.
Yeah.
Baby.
I hear
Push
top
right,
right
guys.
and low
Push
right,
right.
Matt.
Push right.
Okay.
Top right, dead.
Nice. Two.
Push right. I'm gonna get to God spot.
Getting
right.
naded over here, Damon.
They're coming
Now,
in.
once again, because they got those kills right at the end of the hill, they had a phenomenal rotation to mid, and they just, again, their communication is just so good where Scump is able to basically roam free and do what Scump does and just slay like a maniac.
Absolute closet.
Oh, dude.
Got him, man. Okay.
Turret. Shit on.
Flip, guys.
Oh, yeah, yo, one top
Top
right
right,
and the other.
I'm camping in turret. I'm camping inside a turret.
They
Y'all
got top
should
right,
be
though.
spiral.
They're all
Spiral.
gonna be left, yeah.
Top right. I got him. I might have shoot. No, I don't.
Nothing turret. Nothing turret. One turret. Turret now dead.
3, 4.
Okay,
We have time. We have time.
I'm pushing through.
And look how he pushes out here and just does the dirty and gets 2 kills, the necessary kills, which really are the dagger. It spawns Rise out and basically locks down the hill for the next 30-40 seconds and allows Optic to easily win the game. But yeah, as you guys can see, Scump went 30-17. Like I said, he used the call-outs of his teammates just to absolutely get into perfect position to just wreck Rise and get the score streaks that he needs to break the hills and just do everything for his team in that game. He had 1 minute and 52 seconds in the hill, just crazy good. And like I said, there's so much to learn from games like this where you can see how the pros rotate through the hills. They communicate so well. They get in position, they trade and bait and switch kills, and they just do a phenomenal job of holding hills like that, especially Optic, who has the slaying power as good as any team in the world. They do everything as good as it gets most of the time, and that's why they're so dominant and so good almost always. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you guys learned something that makes you guys better Call of Duty players. If you guys did, like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. Share the video if you guys really enjoy it. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate it, and I've loved seeing all the new faces around the channel lately. I appreciate all you guys that are new subscribers. But as always, guys, I'm your boy, SalvationsElite, and we'll see you next time. I'm out. Hill, as you can see, you know, one of them's right here watching Crim, and the other one's on the right side, just to the right of Crim, just holding that right street. And they're doing a great job of holding this hill. Optic hasn't even gotten close to it yet.
Fucking host, bro. That's so whack.